Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the studio. Let me just start off by saying I'm still extremely bullish on Cardano and extremely bullish on Solana. But anyone invested in crypto needs to be aware of this report because it shows some very surprising things about many of the top cryptocurrencies like Cardano, like Solana, like Polkadot, and many other ones. So before we get into that, just a quick reminder is that if you want a free $200 Ethereum NFT, well, make sure to go ahead and follow my brand new NFT collection called Only Bears on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, don't worry. You could still go ahead and follow us on Instagram and to be entered to win a free $200 Ethereum NFT. Anyways, right now, starting the month of November off, crypto is looking really good. We are on track to hit all-time record highs later in this month for Bitcoin, for the rest of the altcoins, and we are right on track with Plan B, who is the creator of the stock-to-flow model. We're right on track with his predictions. But a brand new report just came out from CoinShares on November 1st, 2021, that details some very surprising things about Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, and a couple of other cryptos. So first things first, with this report, it starts off by talking about how this past week we saw over $288 million of inflows for crypto investment products, which is great. This is one of the best weeks we have seen in all of 2021. One of the only weeks that we saw more was last week when the Bitcoin futures ETF was approved by the SEC. That was a week that was better. In terms of Bitcoin this week, the most recent week in this report, actually saw $268 million of inflows, which was still very, very good. $269 million of inflows. This was really only second to the previous week. The interesting thing here, though, is that only $53 million of inflows came from US-based ETFs, which means, remember that Bitcoin futures ETF that was passed just a couple of weeks ago? Well, none of the money really flowing into Bitcoin last week was from money going into that. And that makes me very optimistic about Bitcoin because what it shows us is that it's not just due to this one Bitcoin futures ETF or, all the ones that are getting approved in the US. This shows us that overall across the entire globe, we're seeing more and more institutions and big money players put money into Bitcoin, and they're gearing up for this massive rally everyone is expecting. The interesting thing about this report, though, is not just with Bitcoin, it's with altcoins in particular, which relates to our title about the video, specifically Cardano. So, almost every single week over the last year, we have talked about this report. And almost every single week, we have seen Cardano be one of the top 3 altcoins in terms of inflows. It usually goes like Cardano is number 1, or Ethereum is number 1, or Solana is number 1. But this week was very different because this week, Cardano fell significantly in terms of inflows, and it was behind Ethereum, it was behind Solana, it was behind Polkadot, and it was in that number 4 position in terms of inflows into altcoins. So if we look at this, Ethereum had $16.6 million of inflows. Solana had $14.7 million of inflows in the last week. Polkadot had $6.2 million of inflows, and Cardano had $5 million of inflows. So still a significant number, but what this shows me is that institutional investors are starting to look elsewhere and not invest as much into Cardano, which is what we're seeing happen with retail investors as well. Many people are taking a break from putting money into Cardano because we have not seen big price movements or a lot of action recently, and because people are waiting on the development of the ecosystem. People are waiting on more projects to be announced, new partnerships coming out, and people are waiting to see some results come out of Cardano. So this was a bit surprising to me. The good thing here, though, that we could take away from this report is that even though institutions are pulling back a little bit on what they're doing with Cardano, still I'm extremely bullish on the project because of all their partnerships with Africa, their partnership with Dish, all of their developments and investments into the ecosystem. We have seen countless number of projects come out recently. All of that makes me still extremely bullish on Cardano. But one positive thing that we can take away with this is from some other altcoins. For example, if you're looking to structure your portfolio, how would you structure it? Well, based on this report, you would say Bitcoin is a must. Ethereum should be your second largest holding. It's a pretty, obviously, it's a great coin we always talk about on the channel. Third largest, based on this report, we could just follow in line, would be Solana. Fourth would be Polkadot. Fifth would be Cardano. So if you look at this report, it can actually help you structure your crypto portfolio. You could say, okay, where are institutional investors putting their money? Maybe I should follow that as well. It's not like you should just mimic exactly what they're doing, but this is definitely some of the top coins we talk about on the channel, and it provides a good roadmap, a little bit of a guide for people who are just investing. But just the interesting thing about this report is that Cardano is starting to fall back in terms of rankings, in terms of price. It is also falling back as well. It looks like Solana may surpass it in terms of market cap very, very soon. Solana right now is at $60 billion market cap. Cardano is at $65 billion. Cardano has also fallen below $2 per coin, so it just looks like Cardano's losing a little bit of that edge. Like, yes, it always had that advantage of having Charles Hoskinson, of all their partnerships in Africa. It has the advantage of being like a relatively cheap cryptocurrency in terms of price, only $1.95, but it looks like now that is no longer really the case. Now people are looking for, where is development going? A lot of it's going on Solana. People are looking at, where is institutional dollars going? A little bit more is going into Solana. So don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm bearish on either of these coins. I just think it's interesting to see this. And if you're looking to structure your portfolio, maybe trim a little bit off Cardano if it's in that number one position or heavily in that number one, and maybe look at investing in some of these other coins like Solana or Polkadot or other ones that are on this report. So I just wanted to point this out because it was one of the first weeks that we had not seen Cardano really be in that number one or number two position in terms of inflows on this report. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to like. And if you made it this far in the video, I think you would really enjoy joining our Patreon community. We do daily live streams. We have buy and sell alerts, exclusive research reports, additional content, and a lot more. So if you like this sort of video, you made it this far, definitely go ahead, check it out using the link down below. But hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you guys.